offensive lineman, Tomas, Rimac. Questions for Tomas?
So Tomas, obviously so much expected out of this offensive line this year. Lived up to expectations, maybe other than this week? Where have you guys been in your regard?
You know, I feel like, especially in the offensive line room, we're always just pushing each other each day in and out, and we've had up and downs all year, especially this past Saturday. We didn't perform nearly as well as we wanted to, and that's just something we got to look back on, and just we can't forget about it because we have to learn from our mistakes. So this week we're just really focusing on putting our heads down and work, pushing each other to get better for this game on Saturday.
Why was there were problems this past week? Can you point to something?
I feel like this past week on Saturday, we just, like I said, we didn't play nearly as well as we have played, and that could go back to a number of things. Like earlier in the week, we practiced well as a team and as a unit, and just Saturday we didn't perform nearly as well as we should have, and that's just something we have to think about and use as motivation this week. Just work harder and go perform on Saturday.
What did they do that gave you guys issues?
I just feel like they're a really good team on both sides of the ball, and on defense they moved really well. They had a lot of stunts, and they just cut it to them. They played really well.
You were hurt earlier this year. How difficult was it to sit out, and what was the rehab to come back?
Yeah, sitting out, nobody likes it. You know, it's just the rehab. I was in rehab 3 times a day for about 2 weeks, and I'm still in there twice a day. And it's just, for me, it just, sucks watching it from the sideline. I mean, but when you're in that position, you just got to, see where you can help the team, even if you're not playing. Say, during practice, you see, a look, you can give someone advice that they might not have seen. It might just help them down the line.
You gained this year. Obviously, you were starting last year, but the experience, you feel like you're better now? What do you see different? How do you perform differently now that you have that experience?
Yeah, I feel like since I've been starting for a little bit now, everything just seemed to slow down this year compared to last year, and I feel like as a player, I'm better, but not where I want to be. I always still want to keep growing and becoming a better player and just continue to work on the fundamentals and things that I need to keep working on. So.
Did Oklahoma do anything that you weren't expecting defensively? I mean, you guys, there were times out there when you guys looked a little lost.
Well, I feel like I was saying earlier, Oklahoma, they have a good defense, and I feel like they didn't do anything that we didn't really see all year, but they just did a really good job on doing a bunch of different things. We didn't see the same stun or blitz multiple times. So I feel like they did a really good job at that.
They didn't surprise you then. They just, if they surprised you, it was that they were better than what you saw.
Well, I wouldn't say we were surprised on they were better than what we saw on film. We knew they were a good team, but they just, like I said, they just did a really good job of disguising their stunts. Usually some teams would like to give their stunts away with some of them are leaning one way or another. They did a really good job disguising that.
I know you didn't grow up near Cincinnati, but you're still from Ohio. So, did Cincinnati recruit you? What's the thoughts of going into this game this week?
Early in my recruiting process, I talked to one of the coaches from there, but right now it's a whole new staff. But it's just another Saturday game that we have to go out and perform and redeem ourselves from last Saturday.
You see any film of them? What's their defense look like?
Yeah, they have a good defense. Their record obviously isn't what they want it to be, but that doesn't take away from their defense. They have a good defense, especially their front seven. They play hard, they're fast, and that's something we have to prepare for throughout this week so we can hopefully have a better outcome than last Saturday.
You mentioned your front seven. They've got some guys that are possibly NFL guys.
Mm-hmm.
You talked about that amongst yourself, how you got to deal with those guys?
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit yesterday, and we're just watching film. We'll watch film today, and I watched a little bit earlier today on them, and that's just something we need to continue to study the film because we know they're good up front, and we just gotta see, like, work on the best ways and how we could block them so we have the best chance at running the ball, passing the ball.
From what you've seen so far, do they do a lot of the exotic stuff, the disguising things that Oklahoma did? Have you seen any of that from them at all?
Well, I feel like every team has something that they do different, but Cincinnati, they do a really good job at playing hard, fast, physical, and they play with really good hand and pad leverage. So that's something that we're gonna have to take into account this week when we're practicing, just to really focus on those things.
When you're studying them, are they a team that you kind of have to focus in on a little bit more how they are recently than the entire body of work, and maybe how have you noticed that they've changed if you watch them?
Yeah, I haven't watched a ton of them. I just started watching them today, but I feel like anytime you're watching a team, you have to watch like the most recent weeks because everybody gets better throughout the year goes because you're just playing more football. And I just feel like you have to watch the last few games because they're good on defense, especially the front seven. So it's just honing in on what they're doing and how to get that upper hand on them.
How have you recovered from your ankle? You back to where you were earlier in the year?
Yeah, I would say that, yeah.
No issues?
No, not with the ankle.
Tomas, I think when we talked to you, maybe in preseason, you talked about woodworking. Anything in the fall? Do you even have time
No.
to have fun with that?
No, there's not enough time in the fall. That's an off-season project. Right now, it's just football and school.
You collect the wood even, have it in the back, ready to do something?
I have some left over from last off-season, but I haven't gotten any more since then.
Okay, anything else?
Thank you.